He is the son of a legendary WWE Hall of Famer. He is one and only DJ Pringle, son of the late Paul Bearer. DJ, how you doing, brother?
Hey, what's up, guys? I appreciate y'all having me on tonight.
Not a problem at all. We also have our co-host tonight, my partners in crime, my cohorts in crime, I should say, Zane Paisley. How you doing, Zane?
I am doing excellent. I'm so happy to be here after having to miss last week. I was down in Miami and someone called me a bad name and I slapped them and then police detectives came and whisked me away for the evening. So I apologize that I had to miss on last Tuesday, but I'm so happy to be here tonight.
And the Morning Star himself, Will Huckabee. How you doing, Will?
Obviously, I'm good. I'm not as good as Zane. I didn't have to slap anybody this week, but it's still early and Saturday hasn't gotten here yet. So.
All right, so let's go ahead and get on with our talk here with DJ Pringle. What do you got going on, DJ? Let's talk about you. What events do you have coming up? Where have you been wrestling and performing at, and things that are going on in your world?
I just recently just came off a little break. I took a little hiatus away from the business just for a little bit right after my dad died and everything like that. Got married, moved to a new town. Tried to get my life started back up again. Having to deal with my dad passing away and going to the Hall of Fame. Of course, that being a great thing, and just like I said, I just came back from a little hiatus, a little 6-7 month hiatus, and not doing nothing. And just this 3 weeks ago, I just came back from Galveston, Texas. Went and did the Von Erichs reunion show. Where it was the first time that Kevin's son actually wrestled in the United States, or for an indie group. They just did their little TNA deal for what, Slammiversary, I think it was.
Right.
But we went down there and did that. Me and Buddy Roberts Jr., the son of the great late Buddy Roberts from the World Class days. Me and him are close. Me and his mom are close, and we went to Texas and did that. And I'm just doing what I can, trying to work as many shows as I can right now. Just doing a little local stuff right now. And that is not traveling as much as I was before I took my break. But here in the next few months, that's going to change. I'm trying to get back to doing what I love.
You mentioned a moment ago that before you took your break, you went to the Hall of Fame ceremonies with the WWE, and the whole world saw you up on stage with your brother and accepting the Hall of Fame honor for your father. I guess what was going through your mind at the time? Obviously, pain from losing your father, but what was the feeling like standing there accepting such an honor for a great man like your father?
Really and truly, absolutely nothing. I still, going through the curtain, as other wrestlers know, you still get that butterflies, no matter how long you've been in the business. You always get butterflies once you walk through that curtain. And once you walk through the curtain and see the crown and everything like that, it just completely, dies off. But whenever we were doing the Hall of Fame deal, it was completely different. I wasn't performing or anything like that, but it was just the fact that being in front of that many people and, accepting, my dad's, his honor and his legacy and, going into the WWE Hall of Fame. They treated us well. They took care of us really, really well. But just that feeling, you really can't explain that feeling that was just going through both of me and my brothers, through our minds and our hearts and stuff like that. It's really, really hard to explain. It's more overwhelming than it is anything. That it took him, my dad to pass away for them to put him in the Hall of Fame and everything like that. And that's what kind of got us. But he's in there. He's finally a WWE Hall of Famer, and our whole family is proud.
DJ, a lot of people assumed it was just a matter of time before your dad got in. A lot of people were under the belief that as soon as The Undertaker was eligible for the Hall of Fame, that your dad would go in with him. Had you heard of any talk of such a thing while you were there?
Nope. All that stuff is there. Kayfabe still lives. And people and guys nowadays that's just breaking in that they don't believe in that stuff. They don't even know what kayfabe is. And when you're in that WWE locker room, it's a completely different story. You don't know what you don't know what the producers or the writers or the agents or even Vince and Triple H are even talking about. Until 10, 15 minutes before you go through the curtain. So when it comes to all that kind of stuff, it's hush hush. It's really hard to get stuff out that of that nature, especially the Hall of Fame, because they take that seriously. They take the Hall of Fame, induction ceremony. They take that to a different level, and it's completely different than a house show or a pay-per-view or Raw or SmackDown or a main event or whatever the case may be. But they take that to another level.
Well, it's time for Zane Paisley.
The one guy who had a lumberjack's beard before it was fashionable and is flat out ridiculously cool. Give it up for the master of ceremonies, Zane Paisley.
Well, hello, DJ. This is Zane.
That sounds like you a true heel that happened to slap a fan. Or what actually happened? Did you slap a fan, or what exactly happened?
Oh no, I was just goofing off about the storyline with Stephanie McMahon and Brie Bella.
Oh my God.
So I had
understandable.
The gimmick. So my question for you, since you were just talking about the WWE Hall of Fame and your awesome father's induction, what was it like to spend some time that weekend with the other honorees, and most specifically the Ultimate Warrior right before he passed? And had you had any communication with those guys before, and what was that weekend like for you?
And absolutely. See, what people don't really know about me and my brother whenever we were younger. During the summertime, my dad would take us on trips with him, and during the summer he'd bring home a little map of where they're going to be during the summertime. He'd make us close our eyes, and wherever we picked, that would be our summer vacation. He'd take us on the road with him for a few days, and get to know guys and be in the back and being in the back with everybody during house shows, pay-per-views, or whatever. And I got really close with Scott Hall and a few of those guys, X-Pac and all those guys right before they had their hiatus and just left out. Excuse me. So it was really good seeing them, especially X-Pac and Scott Hall, seeing them at the Hall of Fame. I didn't spend much time that I wanted to talk to Warrior and everything like that, because there for a while that run with Undertaker and Warrior, I was with my dad being Paul Bear, of course, and our whole family were Undertaker fans, and just that run with Warrior, it just blew my mind, and I was a little kid, and it just blew my mind. So of course I wanted to talk to Warrior and congratulate him and everything like that for being inducted. But I didn't get as much time as I wanted to talk to him and everything like that. But basically all weekend we traveled around with, of course, Kane, because he was inducting my dad and everything like that. And of course we accepted, but we basically traveled with those guys most of the weekend.
Well, and I can't remember, was Paul Bearer's induction before or after Mr. T?
Right after.
Okay, so
because Kane had to go out there and cut him off.
That's right. You're exactly right.
Yeah, because we're standing in the gorilla position, waiting on Mr. T to come back through the curtain and everything like that. And he just kept talking about his mama and just this and that and blah 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 blah. And Vince was getting mad, so Kane went out there and had to cut him off basically and just tell him get the hell off the stage. And that's basically what he did. He just thought if you go back and watch the first one, not the edited one, the first one that they played on the network, you can see Kane tell him you need to get the hell off the stage.
Well, was it frustrating for you, because I know you wanted to go out there and talk about your father, and he was out there, and I love Mr. T, but he seriously spent like 40 minutes talking about his mother.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Vince and Triple H, right before we went out, Vince said, we're on the network now. We're not on USA no more. We don't have to worry about time limits. We don't have to worry about how long your speech is or whatever. You know, we're going to show the whole entire show. You know, it's y'all's time. You know, you made me money. Now it's blah, blah, blah. He's like, you made me money. So it's y'all's time it's our time to show you your appreciation, our appreciation for y'all. So I'll take as long as you want to talk about whatever. Just don't mention me. Talk about Vince. And so that's one of the reasons why he just went out there and talked for hours, it seems like.
Well, it's time for another handoff, DJ, so bear with us.
The world of pro wrestling from a champion's perspective, he is the quintessential insider. He is the Morning Star, Will Huckabee.
First of all, before I even start, was that made by like Sir Mo or something back in '86? What? That was like, if that was supposed to be hip hop or something, that was the worst rendition of a hip hop beat I've ever heard in my life.
We went back to the hip hop shop for that one.
I'm going to talk to Stevie J about that. DJ, it's real nice to talk to you, man.
I appreciate it. I kind of feel left out, but I don't have an entrance. I don't have an entrance song or anything like that. I kind of feel left out here.
I'm sorry. You talked to them about that. For my first question, I was gonna ask you. We've heard the stories from a lot of children whose parents are in the wrestling business, and both of us being wrestlers, we know how tough it is on the road, and we know how tough it is for our families on the road. Do you ever have a chance to talk to other second and third generation wrestlers and just share experiences?
Oh, of course. Like I was saying earlier, I'm really good friends with Buddy Roberts Jr. and his whole family, and we're really close on all the way back to the Sportatorium days and everything like that. Because many people don't know my first footsteps was actually in a Sportatorium ring. It wasn't on God's green earth. It was in a damn wrestling ring. So many people don't know that, but I'm actually good friends with him and with Cody Hall, Scott Hall's son, and a few other guys, and we'll sit around and talk and everything like that. We don't make it a priority to talk about that stuff like that, but we talked about it before. How hard it was growing up, having dad or mom or whatever the case may be, being on the road, 300 days a year, missing football games, missing baseball games, missing birthdays, just missing all births, all kinds of stuff. And, it's hard, but, it's a price to pay. It's a price to play the game,
Yeah, so I mean, basically, I wanted to know, was there like a second or third generation wrestler club or something? You guys meet up and go out and have beers or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because you have so much in common and stuff like that.
I wish there was, so that would be pretty fun. It'd be fun if somebody wanted to run a show with only second or third generation wrestlers. I think that would be classic. they tried to do it whenever, like I was saying earlier about the Von Erich reunion show I just did in Galveston, Texas. They tried to do that. It didn't work out as best as they wanted to be because you of all people, because you're a wrestler too. 15 matches ain't a damn wrestling show. That they're trying to top a WrestleMania. WrestleMania don't even have 15 matches. But this card had 15 matches, and we were number 10, and ended up having to move to main event. So, yeah.
Hey, another question I have for you is, being the son of a Hall of Famer and everything, do you feel like that opens doors easier for you than, and no offense, but somebody such as myself, whose father is not a Hall of Famer, and I don't come from a wrestling family. Do you think that your last name actually helps or hinders you when it comes to talking to promoters, and especially backstage with a bunch of the boys and stuff?
It does to an extent, but that's one thing that whenever I was trained, when I first walked in the door to my dad's school, I told him, I just told him basically straight up, I said, look, I don't want to be a Randy Orton. I don't want to be a Ted DiBiase. I don't want to be, I don't want to be here's another one that just got pushed right in there. I wanted to pay my dues. I wanted to learn as much as I can before I get somewhere. And that's exactly what I did. I put up rings. I tore down rings. I did flyers. I went and did radio ads. I busted my ass for a year and a half before I even stepped foot in a ring to even train. I paid my dues. I paid my tuition to my dad's school, just like every other student that was in that school. I paid tuition to get in there, and I'm not saying that I haven't said, hey, my dad's Paul Bearer, can you give me book? I'm not gonna say that. I've done it a few times, but I'm just not gonna. I'll make it a point to say, hey, look, Paul Bear's my dad. You need to put me on this card. Like I said, I want to make it on my own name. That's why I'm not in WWE right now. I'm just not going to sit there and pick up the phone and say, hey, Vince, my dad's a Hall of Famer. Can you use me somewhere? I'm not going to do that. I would rather work my ass off to get there, to do what I love and wrestle for them. But I'm just not going to, like I said, I'm just not going to say, hey, Vince, look, I want to wrestle for you, give me a contract.
This is the Undisputed Wrestling Show. We're talking to DJ Pringle tonight. Once again, making sure everybody's aware you need to go check out WrestleWork.com. Get yourself signed up for free. Let's get that social network up and going so we can make it something special. DJ, I'm not going to assume anything. So when you were growing up, and obviously your dad was traveling around the country, a lot of people talk about how lonely it is because their father's not around because they're on the road so much. A, did that happen to you? And B, if so, what prompted you to get into wrestling and follow those footsteps?
I've always wanted to be a wrestler. I've always loved wrestling since I was born. But until I was really and truly, until I was about 15, 16 years old, that's when it really bit me, and I really wanted to, follow in his footsteps and get in the business. Like I said, I was always an Undertaker fan. I was always a Ric Flair fan. Bret Hart, Mr. Perfect. Everybody's childhood dream was, if you're a wrestling fan, you want to be a wrestler, or you want to be a manager, or whatever you want to do, whatever you can do in the business. But I always wanted to be a wrestler no matter what. So